Okay, before we start, guys, did you get a chance to go through Git? Like, have you all set up your GitHub accounts and started doing some hands-on?
Yes,
Okay, and are you all good?
Yeah, good.
Okay, good. So today's session, we will start with a new topic that is Jenkins. Have you ever heard about Jenkins?
a little bit.
Okay. So we'll just go through this overview and then we'll set up Jenkins on our own server and then we'll have an overview. So let me see if I have any presentation. Okay, let me share my screen. Just confirm me, guys, once you are able to see my screen.
Destination.
Okay. So let's start with Jenkins. You know what exactly is Jenkins and why we need Jenkins. Okay, so Jenkins, first of all, a CI/CD automation server. Okay, when we say CI/CD, what is CI/CD? CI/CD means continuous integration and continuous deployment. So it's a kind of a process where we automate the software building, testing, and deployment process. So, for example, if we are developing an application, we are writing the code, then we have to build that application. We need to compile that application. We need to test that application, and then finally we need to deploy that application. Deploy application means putting the application on server so the end users can access it. For example, if we take an example of, let's say, Netflix or any Prime Video or any banking application, first developer write the code, then they will test that application in their local environment, and then they will deploy that application on the server. So, for example, now Netflix application has been deployed to Netflix servers, so we can access it on netflix.com. Okay, it means somebody has deployed the application on this domain. That's known as the deployment. So we need to build, test, and then deploy the application. So there are two ways to do the same thing. First way we can do manually, and second way we can use automation. So in manual way, we need to we need to collect the code from the developers. Then we need to manually, compile the code. Then we need to build the application and we need to get the jar or the generated application or the artifact. And then we need to log into our target server and we need to put that file there. And then we need to restart the server. That's manual way. Okay. On the other hand, we have another way called automation. In that, we can create an automation process or an automation pipeline where we will define all of the things what we want to do. We will connect our repository, we will configure the build tool, we will configure the deployment tools and everything. And then the pipeline will itself do all the things like building, testing, and deploying. That is the automation. Okay, so Jenkins is a software that will enable you to create those kind of automations. Okay, so Jenkins is a most widely used CI/CD platform. Apart from Jenkins, we have few more CI/CD platforms. Like we have GitHub Actions, and we have GitLab CI/CD. We have Bamboo CI/CD, and we have AWS DevOps and Azure DevOps. Okay, all of them are available, but Jenkins is the most old one and is widely available. Most of the companies using Jenkins for CI/CD. That's why we have chosen Jenkins to for a CI/CD automation as part of this training. Okay. Now in the next part, I'm gonna show you how you can set up Jenkins on your own systems. Okay. Although as a DevOps engineer, it will not be your responsibility to set up Jenkins and then use it. Like wherever you will go, you will find Jenkins will be there. You just need to use it. But this is our learning environment, and we do not have any Jenkins server up and running. So I'm gonna create a blank server in front of you on AWS. Then you will install Jenkins on top of that. Any question, guys, so far? Okay, we'll take it as a no. So let me log into my AWS. I don't know about this AWS thing. That's fine because we will have a separate session on this AWS. Okay, so just don't focus on this AWS thing. Once we'll come to the AWS, then I will show you how to set up your account and get started with the cloud. Okay, so here we are into our my AWS. Now very quickly I will go to EC2. Don't worry guys, if you're not getting this part, that's totally fine. We will have a separate session on this where I will explain each of these things from scratch. So as of now, just understand that I will create a server to host my Jenkins. I already have a Jenkins server here. Let me take it off. Okay, now I will create a new server. Inventec Jenkins. Okay, so I will select that like T2. Key pair. Let me generate only key pair. Don't worry, guys. Okay, we'll explain these things. Okay, so my server is now started. This is a new server. Pending. Let's wait for it to be running. So if guys, anyone of you have some idea on AWS? Mm. Or have you ever heard about this AWS and EC2 and all those things?
Yes, Dinesh. We have basic knowledge on DevOps.
Okay. So if you have, then you will be, I think you will be getting it. But I just launched the instance and then I will install my Jenkins on this. Okay. So this is the public IP address. Now let's connect to this instance. So to connect to a remote server, we need a SSH client. Okay, either you can use Putty or I prefer Mobile Extra. Okay, and anything we can use. It's completely your choice. Specify the private key here. So it's nothing just in a public and private key. When you launch an instance, then AWS will create two key, public and private key, and the private key will be inside our server and it will give us the public key. So that the two keys will allow us to communicate with our server. Okay, so I'm into my server right now. You can see I'm getting this message. So now let's log in as the root user. I'm now as the root user. Now I'm gonna run some commands to install Jenkins here. Okay, so that how we can find. So if you open this Jenkins URL, you will see this install Jenkins. You can install Jenkins on any platform, like be it on Windows or Mac OS, Linux, or Docker or Kubernetes, anything. So we are on Linux, so I'm gonna go with Linux. If you want, I can share this link to you. Okay. In the Linux, we are on Red Hat. So these are the commands I need to follow to install it. So let me run them one by one. Sudo wget. Okay, wget not found. So let me install it. Then install wget. Okay. Also along with let me install Git here as well. That will also be required in Jenkins. So if you know, if you like, as we have covered in Linux, how to manage packages on Linux. So yum install or yum remove. Yum is basically a package manager for Red Hat based operating system. So with the help of yum command, we can install new packages or we can update the existing packages or we can remove also the existing packages. Okay. So now let me run this command. Okay, it's run successfully. Now I will run the second command. So you don't need to remember this command, guys. You can always take help from this documentation. And as I already mentioned that wherever you will go, you will be find already a Jenkins server up and running there. So that's completely fine. Even if you don't remember this installation process. But it's a plus to have.
Sir, I was late, so can I know what is happening?
Yeah, so we started with a new topic known as Jenkins. So Jenkins is a CI/CD server, and so far we are trying to set up Jenkins on our own server.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so no, don't worry, the recording will be available, so you can rewatch it. So guys, I hope you all are able to access the recordings. Really, I'm uploading the recording on the same playlist. Are you all able to access that?
Yeah. Yes, Dinesh.
No. So just yeah, use that playlist to go over the recordings.
Dinesh, hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I think yesterday's class is not there. Maybe.
No, it's there. If you check now, I just uploaded a few hours back. So
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Sir, I have a doubt.
yeah, go ahead.
Even we can install the Jenkins on this Ubuntu as well, right?
Yes, any platform. You can use any platform.
Okay.
Okay, so that command is also done. Let's run the next command. So that will install Java on this.
Dinesh, can't we
Yeah.
copy paste all the things, all the comments at a time?
We can, but let's have one by one, so we will get to know what.
Okay.
Otherwise, we can also create a shell script and then we can run that.
Okay.
Okay, so I think pretty much Jenkins is installed now. Now let's try to access Jenkins on our browser. So by default, Jenkins run on port number 8080. And if you want to access it, we just need our IP address and then port number. It won't work because I have to first enable this port on my server. So I will go to this is my server, and under security, there is a security group. Let's open our port number 8080. So let me as of now, port number 22 is enabled. That's why we were able to access it into our server. Now, similarly, I will add a new port to enable Jenkins access. 00 means anyone can access. And in the description, I will say Jenkins 2. Let's save the rule. Okay, that is now saved. Now, if I refresh, okay, okay, we need to start it. I think I ran this command, guys. Okay, I guess. Okay, so now the interview is start. Let's now enable the Jenkins. It's enabled. Now let's install. So what this enable will do? So next time when you reboot your server, it will automatically start Jenkins. You don't need to manually start it. So now I'm starting the Jenkins. Okay, I think pretty much all steps we have followed. Now let's try to reload it. Okay, see guys, we are able to access our Jenkins, and by default Jenkins is logged. So it is saying that you need to unlock your Jenkins. To unlock it, you need to add the initial password, administrative password that we can find on this path. So let me copy this path and cat this. Cat. And okay. So this is the initial password. Let me copy this. Maybe. Let me add it. Okay. Now we need to we need to set up our Jenkins for the first time. So I will select install registered plugin. Either I can select the plugins or I can select this option. So by default, Jenkins will install the most widely used plugins. So let's go with that. Go with this only. Okay, we need to create our first admin user. So we create admin, password is also admin, full name is also admin, email address, let's say admin@gmail.com. You can put anything, that's no need to verify. Okay, but where you will be working real time, they will give a actual username with your actual organization email ID. Okay, so let's get started. Save and finish. And Jenkins is now ready. Start with Jenkins. Any questions so far, guys? In the Jenkins installation?
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead.
Jenkins URL as IP address. So can we have domain name?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Sir, Jenkins, we have URL as IP address. Can we have domain name?
Yes. Actually, we will always have domain name only, but this is our learning environment. So, and we do not have purchased any domain yet. So that's why we'll be accessing it on the IP address. But once you will working with any organization, they will give you a URL, and by that URL you can access your Jenkins. Okay. Okay. Now also I think if we want AWS by default gives a domain name. Yeah. See, we can use this domain. This domain we can use. Okay. So that's how also we can use. So be it IP address or domain, that doesn't matter. Okay. We just need to focus on how to work within the Jenkins because most of the almost all of the times organization will have URL only. Like say if you are working for let's say a company called Infosys, so they may be having URL like jenkins.infi.com like this. Okay,
Okay, sir.
they will provide with the URL and the credential, so that's no, you don't need to worry. Okay, so now we are inside our Jenkins server. Now let's explore all these UI of Jenkins. Yeah, go ahead. Any question? Guys, are you having any questions? Right, sincerely. Okay. Okay, so now let's explore the different options for this complete UI. So when you log in into Jenkins, you will see this kind of page, not this kind of page. Actually, this is the first time you are logging into it. So you are seeing this welcome message and all. But once you log into an existing Jenkins, you will be able to see there all these automation jobs. Okay, so let me very quickly create a very basic job. So, so in Jenkins, we create automations, and those are known as Jenkins jobs or Jenkins pipeline. You may have heard any name, either Jenkins job or Jenkins pipeline. Okay, both are same only. So let me quickly create a Jenkins job so I can see how all your jobs will look like here. So I will create a freestyle job. Hello world. So it will be a freestyle project. will show you, I will tell you what the difference between freestyle pipeline and the multi-branch and all those things. But for now, let's go with the freestyle project. Now in here, I will just execute a command. Shell command. I created a job to display this thing. So whenever I execute this job, it will execute this command. Let's save. Now, if you go to Jenkins, that's how you will be able to see all of your job. Currently, we have only one job, but if you work with any organization, you may be find here hundreds of jobs or even thousands of jobs. Okay, if you find difficulty to search for a job, you can utilize this search option. You can type one or two letter, and it will just give you the job. Then you click on it, and it will show you, and from here you can go to the job. Okay. Now let's execute the job. To execute a job, you need to go inside it, and we need to click on this build now button. As soon as I click on build button, you see my job has been successfully executed, and it's showing build number. So every time when you execute your job, this build number will keep on increasing. So let's see if I run it one more time. This time it will show build number. If I run it one more time, it will show build number 2. Okay, so all these are known as the Jenkins build number. So if let's say, for example, if someone is saying that, hey, XYZ, can you please check that build number 3 is failing in Hello World job. So you need to go to Hello World job and you need to check build number 3. Okay, so that's how you need to process that information. Clear, guys? Build number and job. Build numbers are execution of a job. Yeah, so that's how we can create a job. Now, if you see this Jenkins UI, it has divided into 4 major parts. First part, we have this main page where you can see all of the existing Jenkins jobs. Next, the left panel, here you can see some options to create a job, or you can see this Jenkins setting option. Okay, here you can see all of the Jenkins users. Okay, and build history. Build history means whenever we execute a job, that is that known as build. So if I go into this build history, I can see that all these jobs have been executed. Okay, those are all those known as Jenkins builds. This is the second part. This is the first part. Then top side, you can see this top bar where you can see the Jenkins logo, a search bar, and a logout button. Here you can see your profile and everything which user has been logged in. And here you can see some alerts or some notifications from them. So if there is any update available, if there is any issue with your Jenkins, it will show the notification here. Notification or the best practices or any recommendations, all those information you will find here. Then lastly, at the bottom, you can see your Jenkins version as well as this REST API. What is this REST API? Here you can see some methods. So let's say if you want to use this Jenkins without this UI means programmatically, then you can use this REST APIs. So I hope you all are aware that whenever there is a system developed, there are multiple ways to access that. Okay, like either we can access it to the UI or to command line or to REST APIs. For example, if you guys have even worked on Ubuntu, Ubuntu has terminal as well as this Ubuntu UI. Okay, so 99% we never use this REST API. Okay, so don't worry even if you don't know this. We always use this graphical interface only while working with Jenkins. So, for any question, guys?
No.
Okay. So now let's quickly explore, okay, this setting option. So this is the main setting option of your Jenkins. Here you can find all of the configurations you can do in your Jenkins. Okay. So if we go to this manage Jenkins, here also you can see that this manage Jenkins has been divided into 5 parts. First of all, we have the system configuration. Then we have the security options. We have the status information, then troubleshooting and tools and action. Okay. So let's start with the system configuration. And inside the system configuration, let's first start with the plugins. What are the plugins? So Jenkins, as we all know, that is a CI/CD platform, and as part of CI/CD, Jenkins will need to connect with lots of other DevOps tools or other tools or other services, other software, anything. Okay, so let's say if I see you Jenkins DevOps tool integration. If I show an image, see here if you see this image, here Jenkins is connected to multiple things like JUnit, Maven, Jira, Git, and here it is connected to Nagios, Splunk, Ansible, Docker, Chef, Puppet, Vagrant, all those things. So Jenkins is doing this automation and it can also communicate to all these other tools. Okay. But by default, Jenkins cannot connect to all those tools. Because in order to connect with all those tools, you need some, we need all those plugins of those applications. So if I give you an example, let's say if you have purchased a new phone and by default, you will not be able to find all of the applications inside your phone. For example, WhatsApp will not be there, or Netflix will not be there. Let's say your YouTube will not be there, or e-commerce will not be there. So if you want to use all those applications, you need to install those from the App Store. So this plugins basically works as the app store for Jenkins. For example, if you go inside it, here you can see some 3 to 4 more options. First option updates. Here you will see if you have installed any plugins and any new update is available for any of the plugin, it will show the updates here. And under available plugins, you can search for the plugin, whatever plugin you want. For example, I need to integrate my Jenkins with AWS. So I can search AWS and here you can see I can use it. There are lots of plugins. Here you can see some description. ECR module for okay, this is plugin to connect with AWS ECR. This is connected with AWS EC2. Okay, this is to, let's say if you want to connect with Kubernetes. Kubernetes client API plugin for use by other Jenkins plugin. So this is the Kubernetes client API. This plugin integrates Jenkins with Kubernetes. Okay, let's say if you want to connect with Ansible. This plugin connects Jenkins with Ansible Talk. Invoke Ansible ad hoc commands and playbooks. Okay, so you can use these plugins to enhance your Jenkins functionality. Okay, if I want to connect with, let's say, Jira, okay, this will integrate Jenkins to application Jira. So these plugins will basically help Jenkins to connect with other DevOps tools. Any question, guys? So if someone asks you what are the plugins in Jenkins? What is the meaning of plugins in Jenkins? So plugins are some third-party software in Jenkins that allows Jenkins to integrate with third-party applications or services. Okay. So here you can search for the plugins and here you can see all of the current installed plugins. Like which are the plugins currently installed in Jenkins server, you can see here. If you don't want any plugin, you can either uninstall it from here or you can disable it. Any questions so far?
No.
Now, under advanced settings, so sometimes it happens that let's say you are working for Bank of America, and Bank of America has created a containerization platform for only their internal purpose. It means that is not available outside on the internet. For example, Docker is a public platform; anybody can install and use it, and Kubernetes is also there. But let's say there is a Bank of America containerization platform. So that will not be available on the outside market. So if you want to connect that platform with Jenkins, so the plugin will not be available because plugins are only available for public or internet available applications. So in that case, your developer team can write a plugin to connect with that private software, and from here you can manually deploy that plugin. Okay. So the type of the file will be HPI. If someone asks what is the extension of manual plugin in Jenkins, so that will be HPI. Okay. So if I show you Jenkins, HPI files which have all the necessary code, images, and other resources which the plugins need to operate successfully. What is HPI in Jenkins? Used to assemble transitive dependencies of plugins into one location. HPI file name extension is associated with the files containing the plugins that are used by Jenkins. So HPI file basically means a Jenkins plugin. Okay. Then under download progress, you can see if you are installing a plugin and that is taking a long time, here you can see the progress. Or if you don't have that file and you are hosting your HPI file somewhere else, here you can put that URL, and from here also you can install this plugin. So finally, question guys in the plugin section. Like over the time, when we connect multiple tools with Jenkins, then we will install those plugins and we will see how to configure. But as of now, we should be aware about what is the meaning of plugins and how to work with the plugins. If you don't have any questions, let's go to the next one. So we got to know about Jenkins plugins. Now, next, let's talk about these tools. Okay, so once we install the plugin, see, simply plugin installation doesn't mean that Jenkins will be able to connect with that service or that thing. So we need to configure those tools as well. Okay, let's say for example, if I want to connect to let's say Docker, or if I want to connect to SonarQube, then by simply installing a plugin, Jenkins won't be able to connect. We need to create instance of that plugin. Okay, so instance we can create in the form of tools. So we can create the tools and then we can access those tools in the job. For example, let's say I want to use Maven in one of the Jenkins job. So I will create a Maven tool. Okay, we can give it any name. So I will just name let's say Maven. Then I can select which version I want of Maven. So I can select. If I don't want, or if I don't want to install it automatically, I will uncheck it. Now here I need to provide the path in the server where I have installed Maven. So the idea here is, first option, you can install automatically. It will give you choice to choose your version and all. But if you already have installed Maven in your server, then you can provide your Maven path. So I will go with this option only because this option allows, gives the flexibility to choose the version or change the version. If we install Maven in our server, we can only use one Maven. But here we can change the Maven version as per our requirement. So let's say I have created a Maven tool. Let me name it Inventor. So I have created a Maven tool And why this Maven option is showing here? Because Maven plugin is installed. If Maven plugin is not installed here, it will not show this option. So, okay, my plugin is installed, and also I have configured the Maven tool. Let's save it. Now, let's say in this job, I need Maven to build my application. So I can go inside it. I can click on configure. So by clicking configure, you can reconfigure your you can reconfigure your Jenkins job. This is basically the edit button. So let's go to configure. Here it will show me all those options again. So under add build steps, I will say invoke top level Maven target. I want to know execute Maven targets here. So I will select this. So it's saying which Maven version you want. You see now it's showing that tool here. So the tool I created here, I can now use it. Any question, guys? That's how you can configure the tool and you can use inside your job. Don't worry, I'm just showing you. Later on, we will take live examples. We'll integrate these tools and everything. Any questions so far? Guys, do you have any question?
Yeah, no questions.
Okay, I will proceed that. Now, let's go to dashboard back. So far, we covered the plugins and the tools. Next, let's talk about this node and cloud. So in Jenkins, there is a concept of master-slave architecture. Okay, so let me show you. So what does the master-slave architecture means? The basic meaning, if you go by English, it means there is a master available, okay, who just monitor the slaves and assign the work to the slave. Okay. So okay, yeah, that's how the master-slave architecture works. There we have a master or a manager, okay, who assign the work to the slaves and monitoring who is working and who is not working and who is freely available. The same thing applies here. So see, if when we work with the large organization, they have lots of applications. Okay, let's say these application, all these applications, and all these applications are having their CI/CD jobs in the Jenkins. Okay, so all these jobs are there in the Jenkins server. Now, if there is only one Jenkins server, and if all these jobs are executing on the same server, the server will be getting crashed. Correct? Because servers have some limitation, so it will not be able to handle that much limitation. So, for that purpose, we can use the concept of master-slave architecture. In that, we can have a one Jenkins server as a master. Okay, and then we can create some slave Jenkins servers. Okay, so all these are will be known as slaves, slave nodes. In this, we will be having, let's say this, there is slave one, and this is slave two, and this could be slave three, and this could be slave four. Similarly, so and so. Now, this Jenkins will act as a manager, and whenever there is a job coming up, it will check, okay, which slave node is available, and it will assign that job to that particular server. So that's how it will manage the load balancing as well. In this, so all of the load will not come into the server. Basically, it will just manage it, and this job will be distributed among these slave nodes. The slave node will be working as the worker node. They will actually execute your job. Now, the slave node, each of the slave node can have different configuration or same configuration. For example, this slave node we can use for, let's say, for Java based application. This we can use for, let's say, Python based application. This we can use for, let's say, JS based application. This we can use, let's say, for some Terraform based workload. This we can use some, let's say, for, some .NET. Okay, and let's say this one we can use for any other language. So we know that all these jobs will not be of, same technology. If this is Java, then we can use Jenkins will get to know and it will redirect this to this job. If this is a Python job, it will run this job on this node. Okay. Also, each of these slaves will be having their label. And if you want to run your job on a specific node, then in your job configuration, we can specify the label that, hey, I want to run my job on this slave 4, S4. So I just specify S4, then Jenkins will run my job on this slave 4. I hope you got it, guys. Master slave architecture.
Sir,
Yeah.
uh,
Go ahead.
yeah, one doubt. So when you're saying slave nodes, so the slave nodes should also be having slave nodes should have servers, right? So
Exactly.
every slave node is one server.
Exactly. Every node is a one server. So here we will be having more servers, and all those servers we need to connect with our Jenkins.
Okay,
So,
understood.
so those are also known as the slave nodes or Jenkins agents, anything. Okay. So is some let's say slave master slave architecture or agent based architecture, anything. So under this section, we can add our node. Currently, there is only one node that is the default one. So whatever jobs we create, all will run on the same Jenkins server. So by this creating new node, we can add our new Jenkins node and here. Okay. So you don't need to worry about because in organization that kind of scenario will also be available. Okay. So this master slave architecture can work in two ways. Either we can attach static server. Static server means we can create a server and that server will be 24/7 up and running and it will be attached to this Jenkins. So whenever new job is coming, those job will run on those agents. Or we can use containers to run our jobs. In this, we can connect our Jenkins with a container platform, let's say Kubernetes or Docker. And whenever there is a new job requirement is coming, Jenkins will create a new container. It will run our job in that container, and then it will destroy that container. Got it? So master slave architecture can be implemented in two ways. First, static servers, and second, a dynamic agents. Static agents and dynamic agents, or static nodes or dynamic nodes. Static node, you need a fixed servers. They will be running 24/7. Under dynamic, we can just connect our container platform with Jenkins, and whenever there is a new requirement, Jenkins will launch a container there. It will run the job in that container, and at the end of the job, it will destroy that container. So in both of them, this cloud is the most advanced thing. Previously, we were using this static one, but now mostly we use this cloud-based one. So once we move to the containerization platform, we'll also show you a demo how to how to attach Jenkins with the cloud platform so that Jenkins can create multiple containers on the job requirement. Any question, guys, so far?
Dinesh,
Yeah.
how many days will it go to complete the Jenkins?
It may take see along with Jenkins we will be covering many tools like SonarQube and then JFrog and GitHub integration, Maven, deployment. So more or less, I believe 10 to 15 days at least will need around this Jenkins only because this is the main concept in the CI/CD.
Okay, I have a small question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like as you said before, can we practically integrate, as you said before, like Netflix, and we can give that some IP address in the browser, and we get Netflix. It will play Netflix, or is it like happening?
We can not kind of Netflix, but we can have a sample application. We can build, test, and deploy it on the servers. So as soon as our job will done, we can check on the website that our changes are coming there or not.
Yeah.
I think that was you asking, right?
Yes, yes, like high-end application tools.
Yes, like not high end, but like we can take some simple applications just to explore the concept how CI/CD works.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
because the whole idea of this training is to grab the concept. Like we are not deep diving into those complex applications, because in that case we need to understand those applications, and believe me, those kind of deployment takes a lot of time to set up and all. So if you go with that long time period, if you go, you'll not be able to get this core concept. So we'll keep it simple as simple we can, so that you can grab the main concepts. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Any more question, guys? I think we are almost done. Any more question, guys, or we are good to drop? Okay. So I will. Okay, guys, and let's connect tomorrow, and we will continue from where we left. Okay.